Hi, thank you so much. Jitagwa Captain Joragawajeri, and this is the Trumpet of Hope. We talked with Wendy, and she gave us such an inspiring episode. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wendy is a peer educator right here in the Washington State, USA. First things first, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm grateful.
Yes.
I always start my days with gratitude.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. How is the Washington State so far?
So far, so good. We are sad. We are slowly getting out of summer.
Yeah, it's getting cold.
It's sweater weather, as you can see. I'm already matching the energy around. But we are grateful.
This place is so beautiful. You can see the background.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. It's, God is good all the time.
That is nice.
That we are able to be in such great environs and enjoy God's beauty.
And how is the baby?
Baby is fine. She's growing. She's thriving. She's 3 months now.
Very good.
Time just flew by. I guess time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
Yes.
So, in our last discussion or conversation, we talked about how you came to the US. I want you to take us through that process and talk about the J-1 visa, what it is, and how Kenyans who are out there can take advantage of it and come to the US. Yeah,
my very first time coming to the US was in 2007. At the time, I was a second-year student at Kenya Utalii College, pursuing diploma in food production, and that's what we call culinary arts also. So I had an opportunity to come out here. Nobody recommended. I just saw a notice again on our notice board right outside the dining hall. I'm pretty sure a lot of my comrades there would see the same. And I decided to take an opportunity. Now, what really inspired me was there was a fourth-year student that had pursued the same opportunity, and he had taken 6 months off to go attend his J-1 program. And it was very successful. In fact, by the time he came back, by the time he was graduating, he had already been employed.
Listen to this and please mark. She saw a notice at the notice board. Very many people saw it. But sometimes we ignore those things. And you want your friend or your relative or your neighbor who is in the diaspora to send you an invitation or to let you know how to come here. Some of these things, it takes your personal initiative. Smart with action. Otherwise, you will stay there and you will wait for some time. So, how was the process?
The process was surprisingly easy. Very easy, actually. It was pretty straightforward. And they had global recruiting partners in place. And at the time, I contacted the lady that was in charge in Kenya. So what they do, they have people in place, different countries where they're recruiting. And I got in touch with her, and she's also an alumni of American Hospitality Academy. Usually that's what they prefer. They prefer someone who has had the experience to, grandfather you in. Now, it's not a godfather type of situation where you need to bribe this person. No. They just walk you through the application process.
So these things work?
They do work. They work because you are actually in school, and the course I was doing, food production, I could not graduate in absentia. I had to be back in Kenya to graduate. Otherwise, my 2 years in college would have gone to the wind. So I only had 4 months to do my internship. Other comrades were dispersed different places in Kenya, all over, the Savo, Amboseli, name it, Mombasa, Malindi, everywhere. But then I took the application and I had to seek permission from my vice chancellor at the time, and also my head of department.
Beautiful.
And they were like, "Are you sure you're going to come back?" And I was like, I cannot graduate in absentia, so I definitely have to come back. So it took lots of paperwork, for sure, lots of permissions from the right people, the department heads. Usually it's better to be open and tell them what your goal is. And at the time, I was fully supported even by the school. So they did their due diligence and gave me what I needed. In fact, I remember my head of department told me, your grades need to be at a good level for me to give you permission.
So you worked very
So
hard.
I worked for it. And sure enough, he held his end of the promise. And he gave me a good letter, which I could later take to the embassy, because they do ask you those questions once you get to the part where you have to go to the embassy. Now, the application process is the same, just like any other. You have to pay the application fees, which at the time was $160. That is where my parents now kicked in. I really were giving them, you know, they were like, why can't you just do your stuff here? And I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I feel like if I go for these 4 months and gain this experience, I'll be able to bring something. My resume will be, you know, standing out and putting me at a better position for employment in Kenya.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, you get your visa application in, you present the paperwork, you get the visa. How was the feeling?
Great feeling. I did not think it was that easy, actually. And, you know, some of my, you know, people just, you know, there's always those people who are negative. They were like, it's because your mother is there, so you're connected. My mother did not know anything up until when I told her I need $160.
Wow.
And she asked me, yeah, she was like, why? I mean, what's going on? So I had to run her down through the whole process.
Yes, and you know she's tough.
And she's a tough lady. And at the time, you know, I'm not the only child she's taking care of. There is other siblings as well. But she blessed me with the money, and I applied. And this is after I had received an acceptance letter from the program, which was called American Hospitality Academy at the time. Now, at this time, they changed their names to American Journey. And they do have a new global recruiting partner, which is Consult Centre Ltd. And they are Pakopala Development House. So those are the people who would be doing the recruiting process. They do the due diligence, coaching you, making sure you know your contract very well, making there your go-between between American Journey and yourself.
Now, this is very important because of late there have been so many people who are taking advantage of desperate situations whereby you pay thousands and thousands of dollars to go abroad only for that money to be swallowed by somebody. Imekulwa. And we don't want this kind of situation. And if at all there is information that you can get from the Trumpet of Hope, then I would wish. And if at all there is any issue, please feel free to ask a question. But also take advantage of information. Information is power. In the diaspora, especially in the US, any website that has a GOV, when it comes to the issues of government, a GOV, that's legit. People have been applying for a green card, only for you to go and apply a green card in a .com website, and you pay some money, and this application for a green card is supposed to be free. But because we don't read, we don't take advantage of Google at all, then you get messed up. So right now we have the American Journey.
American Journey.
And their global partner or the global recruiter in Kenya is at Development House.
Yes, I believe it's 14th floor. I have the flyer for you.
And I'll put it here, by the way.
Yes, they are called Consult Centre Limited.
Consult Centre Limited.
Now, the global recruiting partner is a key component of this process.
Yes.
Because American Journey in itself, being so far away from Kenya, cannot do the whole vetting process by themselves. They don't know who they are recruiting. So now the recruiting partner is the person that you will be face to face with doing the process.
Okay.
They cannot, the American Journey people don't know the consul. They don't know the process fully for the consulate.
Yes.
So this person or this company has been fully vetted by American Journey, and they are fully endorsed to do the job on their behalf.
Very good.
Of course, it will come at a fee. Now they have to charge their fee. I'm not sure what their fee is at the moment, but I would highly suggest for anyone who is interested to get with Consult Centre Limited. They will give you a breakdown of the fee for you to be able to be processed. And they will do their due diligence with you right from the beginning of the process to the very end, where they take you to the airport to be on your flight towards coming to the US.
Very good. The Consult Centre Limited I'll put the business address right there, and also the telephone number. You can ask some few questions from them. Now, Wendy Mwangi went through the whole process. J-1 visa. What is a J-1 visa?
J-1 visa, from my experience, is a training visa. It is not a visa that's supposed to warrant you residence here. It will only warrant you permissions to work for a given period of time based on your contract, and this is only to develop your career. It's not those visas where you have to come, you come here and stay. This is specifically for boosting careers.
Yes.
So I would say it's a training visa. Now, there's an advantage to a J-1 visa because you actually get a social security card number.
Yep.
Because you actually in a working situation at your host company. So you do have the benefit of getting the social security card, which is usually a very difficult document to get without the right documentation. Another thing, the J-1 visa, it's a very straightforward visa. You have a contract from the host company. They will tell you this is how long your contract lasts. Now, they could go anywhere from 4 months to a year, max. The maximum is 1 year. Remember, you're a trainee. You'd only need so much time to come and get exposed and go right back home. A J-1 visa has restrictions to where some will tell you some requirements. There's a cap on the visa that says, like mine, because I was going for 4 months, I was required to be back in my home country at a certain given time, and I couldn't leave again for at least 2 years.
Okay.
That is a normal implication of a J-1 visa, because think about it. You're coming for training. What's the point of you coming and disappearing here? You are leaving your country, your school, you're a recent graduate, to come gain exposure just for a limited amount of time and take this knowledge back home. This is where people go wrong. You think the J-1 visa is something that you will use as an escape route. Believe you me, the moment you decide to exit the contract, it's a breach, and the host company here, which is American Journey, they are at their jurisdiction to take whatever action they feel like they can take to restrict you from making movements. So I suggest anyone that goes the J-1 route, you have an opportunity to once again go back to the US at a later time, and you're exposed to a host property. You could even gain employment
with the host property.
Which would then give you a letter to take back to Kenya, get the right paperwork, and come back as an employee.
So don't destroy your visa.
Don't destroy your status with a J-1. Just do what you're supposed to do with it, and believe you me, it has opened doors for me that I did not think were possible.
Thank you so much. Now, if you go to the website and learn a little bit more about J-1 visa, there's a lot of information. You can get all these examples right in the internet. It is available. But for you who is in Kenya, then you can visit the Centre
Ltd. They are the official J-1 recruiting company in Kenya. They are the only ones, and they are vetted directly by American Journey.
Very good.
Yes.
Now, these ones I will take care of people who are working, for example, in hotel industry.
Yes, this is for hospitality and tourism. Anything, housekeeping, food production, tourism and management, hotel management. Now, the management courses normally take 4 years in Kenya. Those are the people who would be here for 6 months to 1 year. Now, if you're doing a shorter course like myself, which was a 2-year certificate course, I was here only for 4 months, which they also call a summer work travel program. You're only here during the summer, during the peak season, and you are put into the host property, and it's a normal working environment.
Which was your host property?
Kingston Plantation, South Carolina. And it was housing Hilton Hotel and Embassy Suites.
Wow.
So it's a whole franchise that carried 2 brand names. Now, I came back 7 years later with another J-1, but this time I was fully working person in Kenya. I was in the industry now working as a professional, and I took 1 year to come and train as a manager. So I was given the 1 year experience. So I did relaunch my visit again under a J-1 visa, this time without restrictions, because I honored the first one. And I was able to do 2 experiences. The first 4 months, I did a program supervisor job under American Journey themselves. Now, at the time, they were called American Hospitality Academy. And then within the 3 months, another opportunity, I was able to access those things internally because I was a supervisor. And there was an opportunity in Key West, Florida for a manager in training. And I talked to my boss and I told her, now my contract is about finished here. Would you give me permission to transition to Florida and finish the rest of my 1 year? In fact, they extended my visa. They did all the paperwork and it was very quick.
You were determined.
I was very determined. It was a very juicy opportunity. I could not let it go.
And they were paying you?
They were paying me. I was on payroll. I had housing, and the only thing I had to do was avail myself. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I was in Florida for 8 months. So once I finished my 4 months in South Carolina, I transitioned to Key West, Florida. And of course, I took a road trip. It was fun.
It was nice.
It was very nice.
You didn't decide to get married and decide to settle and forget about Kenya?
Oh man, at the time I was going through a divorce. So it was a welcome break and my mind was just focused on making my money. And indeed, I did make some decent money. I will not lie. I made decent money. I was a supervisor getting paid hourly, no limits to overtime.
Yes.
And I had different experiences. Some days I would work day shift, morning shift, night shift. I did it all.
The importance of being smart and actionable, action-oriented and being focused. Yeah?
Yes, I was very focused. As much as I was going through my own personal things back home, it was a welcome break. I would do it again. If I could take another J-1 visa, I would do it again.
Would you maybe speak, these are Kenyan students, maybe in Kenya, name it, Utalii College or all the other colleges that are in hospitality. What would you tell them as a success story?
Get that experience and make your resume stand out. The hotel industry is very competitive, and if you have an edge to what you're doing and if you have more exposure, you can enter the market at a higher place, money-wise and even position-wise.
Yes.
Because you're bringing in external experience. And of course, you're handling tourists from all over the world. The J-1 experience gives you exposure too, because your colleagues come from all over the world.
Yes.
I worked with people from South Korea, Jamaica, Holland, name it. Even in the US, other states, there were students from all over the world. So you can imagine that experience. It was a once in a lifetime. I had a great time.
Thank you so much. Now, to conclude that, this is Wendy Mwangi. Wendy is a peer educator right here in the Washington State. A peer educator right here in the Washington State. So much has gone on in her life, but she has decided to take that as an advantage to develop herself and also help others who are right here in Washington State and going through stuff that can sometimes devalue you and make you go wrong. But anyway, it is life. There you are. If you are in Kenya and you want to take advantage of the American journey,
yeah,
their agent in Kenya is in Development House and they are called
Consult Centre Limited.
Consult Centre Limited. I'm going to share with you a flyer, and let me tell you, when you call that number, tell them that it's Wendy and Captain, then usijipeleke hapo useme ya kwamba sijui umetoa. No, it's good to give credit.
Now, I would like to highlight something very important. This is not a scholarship opportunity.
It is not.
No.
Yes.
You will pay for your ticket. You will pay for your application fees. and any other thing. However, when you come to this end, American Journey holds your hand. They give you housing.
Yes.
They give you transportation to work. And in certain cases, like especially the short programs, the summer work travel, they give you a stipend.
Now, please note, najua unaweza jiuliza sasa mimi hata school fees ya huko kwenyewe sijamaliza kulipa, but it is important for you to know some of these things you get them at a cost. At a cost. So if you go to the Consult Centre Ltd and they tell you the application fee is this much, usiseme ya kwamba ati tuliambiwa ni bure. Hapana.
In fact, Consult Centre akona charges zake. Because as an agent, they have their own agency fees, which I would love for anyone who is interested to make sure they do give them a call or even send in an email.
Yes.
And check how much the fee is. Now, at that point, you will be given a breakdown. Once you're accepted, American Journey have their own breakdown of what you're supposed to take care of yourself. Very good.
The number is 0722 453 727 0722 453 727. That is the number for Consult Centre Ltd in Nairobi.
Yes.
Call them.
Give them a call. It's an opportunity of a lifetime and it's worth it. I can tell you it is totally worth it. Go right on for it.
Thank you so much, Wendy. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
For remaining focused.
For a moment there, I deviated.
Yes.
But we're right on track.
We are going to discuss about the deviation. Because on the photo that I'm putting here, you can see Wendy having an anchor
monitor. A Scrum monitor.
It is called a
Scrum.
Scrum monitor.
Alcohol monitor.
So we are going to discuss how did she get into that level of getting an alcohol detecting monitor. Yani ni kama kisaa kikubwa kimewekwa kwa mguu na in case she
decided to test, it will send signals
to
straight to the courthouse. It is a sticky situation.
How long did you stay with it?
All summer last year.
All summer last
4 months.
4 months.
4 months.
It must be demoralizing.
It was, but at some point I had to leave. I had to live my life. I had to go to the store. And it was hot. Captain, come on. I had to put on some shorts at some point. I decided, come mbaya.
Wacha watu waone.
Wacha waone. It is mine. It is my monitor. Yes. And over time, you realize people are not even looking. Yeah. All this mentality, it's a stigma in your head. And if you decide that monitor will keep you in the house, that's exactly what it will do for you.
Let's discuss that shortly. Yeah. This is the Trumpet of Hope. Captain Joragawa Jerry with Wendy Mwangi, a peer educator right here in the Washington state. And if you want to talk to her for any advice, I think she can give you her number.
My number is 253-954-2512. However, my number is 253-954-2512.
However,
I do have my social media handles. Facebook is my most preferred, and Instagram, and they're under Munchies Flavors. I'll tell you a story about Munchies Flavors. Munchies is MUNCHEEZ Flavors, as in FLAVAZ.
Wow.
Munchies Flavors for all my pages. You can always DM me, drop me a message, any questions. I've been getting lots of questions even regarding the J-1 opportunity, and I will respond at the quickest, and availability.
She's a mother, so in case she doesn't answer immediately, usiulize ni kwa nini. Katoto kadogo kamiezi 3 hata saa hii tumekaacha huko na shosho yake.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is not easy, but let me tell you, America is beautiful. America has an opportunity. If you drive in Texas from morning to evening, you'll drive so many areas, empty land. There's so much that you can do. And let me tell you, mtu asikwambie usikuje. The only thing that you have to do, you must put in your effort. Otherwise, ukingoja ati tukufanyie ama huyo anti yako alikuja Amerika akufanyie, man, this place can be hectic. It can be tough at some times. It can be demoralizing at some time. So Work your way out. The information is power and is there, available. If you have any question for the other kinds of visas, we're going to handle it in our next episode. Bye. Thank you so much. Hey, that was good.
Thank you.